All right, Ian, we have a Patreon.
We do. Patreon.com/CU podcast. Go, pay, get.
That's not what it is, Ian.
It is.
You're helping support us, helping keep the lights on at Castle Country in Castle Ferguson. You get the weekly writing that Ian does. He's working on one today. You get the monthly hangout. You get the full video podcast, uninterrupted, with all our squabbling that we leave off of YouTube there usually, and all our nice segues. And then you also get a poll topic each week. And this week, there was a couple of choices. In second place, it took a hit this week, and this is one that I think would be good for us to talk about at some point. That's why it's staying on. Do big video game releases get too much hype? 18%. And in first place, Ian, exclusive games from poor 90s consoles that deserve better. And when we say poor, we mean those underselling your weird-ass consoles like CDI, 3DO, Jaguar, maybe Virtual Boy if you want to throw them. Like, we'll just stick to those ones off the beaten track there.
So this one is a little bit tougher for me, but I did come up with a few, and they're actually on the Jaguar.
Okay.
For me, it would probably be Tempest 2000, which is a fantastic game. Plays great. Was one of the first games to really, I think, go for that over the top kind of trippy visual style. Like Rez or something like that. It's a Jeff Minter game, if I'm not mistaken. That's Jeff Minter, and he does lots of stuff like that. A lot of fun, very cool. The other one, I think the big one, the game that everyone wants to play when they think about the Jaguar, is Alien vs. Predator. It was the first, almost positive, the first Alien vs. Predator video game. And it never got put on any other system. It was truly the exclusive that kind of made you kind of sit up and take notice of it. You could play as the alien, you could play as the predator, you could play as a space marine. There were different levels for each main character, and that was one of the only games when I was a kid that really made me want to play a Jaguar, because I was obsessed with Alien and Predator growing up.
It was first console, and the arcade one came out earlier that year.
Oh, okay.
If you count that. It was the same year.
Sure.
Okay.
So, yeah, those are really good ones. I was also wondering, do you think this is the 32X count? I think it does, because those games are stuck. I mean, it's a failure, and those games are stuck on there.
A lot of those are ports, though, or different. Okay, well, let me hear what you have. Let me hear. What do you got?
For that, I have Calibri, which is an interesting hummingbird type shooter.
Huh. Okay.
And I think it's Tempo 2 as the one that is exclusive to the 32X.
Let me look up Calibri. I never heard of that.
Oh, Calibri is really cool looking.
No ad here.
Really interesting art too.
That was never released anywhere else.
No, that's 32X only. And Tempo 2,
You're a little hummingbird?
Yeah.
That's adorable. I just saw a hummingbird outside my place yesterday. The two whizzed by my head within 2 feet. I guess they don't care. Like other birds, they went zoom. I was like, what the hell? Hummingbirds, they were hanging out. They were pals.
And so Tempo 2 would be the other one.
Oh my God, this looks incredible.
It's a really nice looking game.
It's better than the fish shooter on TurboGrafx. That's for sure. Now I need a hummingbird shooter sequel. I know it's that dangerous out there, Ian.
Yeah,
in Hummingbird Land, you got to shoot dragonflies and other little guys. That's adorable. So Alien vs. Predator was cool at the time because I don't know at that point in time if everyone was aware of the arcade game, but it was like they were trying to do that movie forever. Alien vs. Predator. That's when the talk was heating up.
The comics had just come out.
Yeah, so that was the time for it, the mid 90s, and I remember seeing it played. My friend Ryan, rich kid, had the Jaguar. He always had the Sega CD first, and he had the Jaguar. And I remember I'm silly singing. I don't know if he let me play it, but I was looking like that's impressive. But there wasn't a lot of impressive games in the Jaguar that you couldn't pull off on other consoles. But that was impressive at the time for '94 on a console.
I did do a lot of looking at 3DO stuff. I'm not particularly familiar with the 3DO, especially its exclusives, but I do think it's worth pointing out that it did have that really good version of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Super Street Fighter 2 was available on other systems, but I believe, at least at that point in time, Super Turbo was only available on the 3DO. So those would be my picks.
At the time, it didn't come out anywhere else. Super Street Fighter 2.
Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo did not.
Oh, Turbo.
Yes.
Interesting. That could be that's. So not Super. Was it on the PlayStation? Or
I mean, that would have been after the fact, but I don't even think Super. I don't think Super Turbo got a release until the PS2 collection.
Here's a problem with the 3DO. There's so many games on it that were just like computer games or available elsewhere. That when you look at some of this stuff, you really got to really sink into this. They had there's Dungeons and Dragons games. It looked like.
Super Turbo was on PS1 and Saturn in the collection pack.
It was, so it did get its time. Alone in the Dark games. Let's see, Cannon Fodder, that was on other things, wasn't it? A Corpse Killer obviously was. A Crime Patrol. There's not a lot on here. You gotta like dig down. Like no. Demolition Man. Then once you dig down, is this stuff actually good? The thing about the 3DO, I think, unlike the Jaguar, everyone knows about Alien vs Predator and Tempest 2000. They've heard of it. I can't think of a game that everyone brings up. Oh, that's the 3DO game you got to play. I can't.
No, because all of the big ones eventually got released on other systems. I'm looking at some games. There's one called Escape from Monster Manor.
Okay.
A Halloween-themed FPS by EA, I guess. Lucian's Quest, a JRPG. Killing Time, another first-person shooter, but I felt like, no, I guess not. I thought Killing Time got released elsewhere.
People try to argue that Road Rash one, but Road Rash was released everywhere. Maybe that's a specific one, but something it's close enough. That Road Rash versus ones from the time. Yeah, that looks not that different than the Super Nintendo one when you look at that Road Rash. And it was also released on the PC and others, Genesis. There was a Road Rash. So that was everywhere. It was on Saturn. So you can't even say Road Rash. That would have been one. Like, okay, if Road Rash was on there, that's an interesting one. Cannon Fodder was everywhere. I was going to say maybe that one for a weird one. You're running out there. CDI is probably even worse for a game that's probably worthy to. Yeah, you were going to have like CDI.
I mean, you included it in the list of systems we could call from, but I don't know anything about the CDI.
Oh, I didn't know Sewer Shark was in the 3DO. I'm looking at the list. I had no idea. So they got a lot of those Slam and Jam 95 from Left Field Productions on the 3DO. Was that on anything else? It was just on 3DO. Well, check out Slam and Jam 95 to see if that's worthy. Something tells me it's not, or we would have heard of it beforehand. What about Virtual Boy?
I actually liked the thing about Virtual Boy is I think there's actually like good games on Virtual Boy. The system itself is just not.
It's miserable.
Not great. The Wario game I've played.
Everyone
fun.
says the Wario game is a legitimately good game. That should have been like.
Yes,
game. Yeah.
It is. It's legitimately good.
Wario Land.
And I also liked Mario Crash. Honestly, I thought Mario Crash was pretty fun.
Oh, Clash?
Clash. Yes, thought it was Crash. Mario Clash I enjoyed. I always wanted to play Jack Brothers. Jack Brothers looks interesting. I remember playing Red Alert on the demo machine, or Red Alarm on the demo machine, and enjoying it. I don't know if I would still necessarily enjoy it. But I've had fun with the Virtual Boy games that I have played. It's not the games, it's the system.
Yeah, it's that red. I'm looking at screenshots. I'm getting a headache of that. How was the golf game on that? You're the golf guy. Was the golf game all right?
I would love to play. That's one I've actually not played. That would be fun.
Looks like Teeny Soft did that one. So they did other golf games. I believe they did the N64 games.
I was gonna say I think they did Wily.
Yeah. So that's always an interesting one to me. So CDI. I'll look at, for you guys out there, I'll look at like best selling or CDI games, game library. I'll be shocked if we find something that's even arguable that said, oh, that could have been on another system. I mean, they had 196 games in the CDI. Seventh Guest, that came out everywhere, obviously.
Yep.
Like, what the hell is exclusive on here? I'm looking at these developers. There's an Alice in Wonderland game. Really? Alice in Wonderland, did it just come out there? There's not even an article on Wikipedia for it. I can't even look into it. There was an Axis and Allies game that came out everywhere. There's a Beauty and the Beast. They did like one, not even Disney games. They did like the one-off generic versions.
Oh wow!
There was a Bears game here. There was a Caesar's World of Gambling. Something tells me that's not gonna be something that we would be dying to see on another console. The Crime Patrol games, those were on other systems, weren't they? The shooters.
I believe so.
Amiga-based hardware, platforms. Yeah, that was everywhere. Windows, DVD, Mac, Windows. Yeah, that's not one. Family games. Flashback was everywhere. There was a Flintstones and Jetsons Time Warp game. That could be interesting if that didn't come anywhere. But Time Warp what was the Super Nintendo Jetsons? Was that Time Warp? I'm trying to confuse. I look up at the book. What was what? Wait a minute. What the fuck? There was a Go-Go 13 CDI game. What? No, there wasn't. I would own it. What? Is that real?
The Jetsons on Super Nintendo is Invasion of the Planet Pirates.
But is there really a Go-Go 13 CDI game? This is on the list. Is that for real? There's no way.
Probably.
No way that would come out in North America. Here. Let's see. Was it big in Japan, the CDI? I find that hard to believe. I got to investigate that now. Go-Go 13 CDI game. Come on. I mean, trust me, Ian, I'm a nut when it comes to this stuff. It's a super rare CDI game. Great, now I got to buy it. Great, thanks so much. I never knew about this. Are you kidding me? It's super rare. Did it come out? Oh, there's a picture of it. Holy shit. Okay. Thanks, everyone. I'll be spending $1,000 on a Go-Go 13 game I didn't know existed until now. Are you for real? Okay. Time for me to search that. Are there any other systems we missed out on from the 90s?
Nothing that I could, like...
Hyperzone, was that 90s? I don't know.
Nothing that I could pick something from, no.
I would be obsessed about this Go-Go 13 game.
But there's always been a couple of Jaguar games and a few 32X games that I would have liked to have played.
Well, let us know in the comments what we missed out on for one of those weird-ass consoles.
I'm sure we missed something.
Something in the 32X? How about, was a Spider-Man game good in the 32X? Well, Web of Fire, was that?
From what I've read, no, but I've never played it.
From what you read, no?
Yeah.
Okay.